Alchemist Astrologer, and this is your inner goddess reading for Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Rising, or Scorpio Moon. So, my sexy Scorpio goddess, what are you thinking right now? Are you self-affirming or self-defeating in your inner dialogue? Right now you have the Two of Wands and the Ace of Wands reversed. So you're doing a review of some sort. Perhaps there's a doorway of opportunity and you've taken a pause. You're hesitant to walk through because you're looking some things over. And it may be where there's been a lack of enthusiasm or motivation or desire or something that you wanted to get going where now you feel powerless. It could be that you're doing a review of a connection that you have, a relationship of some sort that has now become vulnerable to conditions outside of the relationship, outside pressure, other people's problems. And some of you, you're doing a review of how perhaps there was a false start. You started something that you knew really didn't have a success rate. It was doomed to fail from the start. So this could be a time where you start to, close off. You end a relationship or you end something. And it happens in a manner that you didn't expect. It's taken one of you off guard. But it could be, again, that this was something that was lacking in depth. It could be a project that didn't get going. You lost interest, lost your passion, or there were some unfulfilled promises. You feel that there's a sense of futility. Your hopes have not been realized, and so you're feeling very pessimistic. So this is a review of your aspirations. The external world is saying it's a no-go. Inside, though, maybe there's a new beginning within you. Maybe it's just starting. But on the outside, this hasn't gotten going yet. Something about your situation, you're doing a review of where you've been disappointed. Now, maybe there was an opportunity for you to travel, change locations. Maybe you wanted to form an alliance of some sort, or the passion has dwindled and now you're thinking of separating, or perhaps, maybe you tried to prove your point, something that you felt strongly, but you've been blocked. It's falling on deaf ears. So, this is about feeling some anxiety. Something has been unfulfilling for you. And it could have been that you didn't trust your own instincts about a situation, or you didn't have all the facts straight and you hopped on something without really taking into consideration everything. You were acting on an assumption and you were blocked because of it. Now, you also have your move. So again, you're doing this review. Now, maybe you're waiting for somebody else. Somebody hasn't fulfilled a promise and you're waiting on them. Or you're the one who's falling short. Or you're the one who has set a situation in motion that's negative. And so now it's your move. It's up to you to change a situation. It's your move, or you're looking at that from someone else. Now, what's going on with your body? This is how you're caring for yourself, how you're nurturing yourself. What kind of foods are you eating? Are you respecting and honoring your body? Or are you dissatisfied? Are there some habits you need to change? Or are you trying to live up to an unrealistic ideal? Or you're too hard on yourself? So you have the Death card and Eight of Cups. So this is your own card. And so this is about making some kind of transformation, the wisdom to make some important changes. And if you resist, they're going to be made anyway. This is something that is inevitable, irrevocable, a deep, deep-seated transformation. So you are either surrendering to a circumstance, letting it go, or, it's a dead deal. And with the Eight of Cups, you're moving on past it. You're walking away from something that may be dead, especially if there was some unfulfilled promises or something just didn't get going, or there's a lack of enthusiasm on your part or that of others. Now, because this is a body, maybe this is about issues connected to walking or hiking. Maybe you have some foot problems, or for some of you, you need to be careful of prescription drugs, whether you're taking the right dosage, getting the right information. Make sure you double check your prescription. This is also about elimination. So perhaps your organs of elimination need to, maybe you need to pay attention to that. Or maybe bladder or hernias. And of course, this could be sexual issues of, with this very phallic card, issues of impotence, frigidity, a lack of passion, lack of libido. So you may be disappointed about something, but you want to walk away from it. Something in the past that just hasn't been fulfilling, and maybe that's affecting you on a physical level. But this says there's the possibility for transformation. It's time to make some changes, especially if you haven't been caring for yourself. This is about regeneration, looking at where you've been stagnating, because this is a time where you're not going to want to be at a standstill or have some uncertainty or be stagnant in any way. Your will to survive is very strong. And so whether you're facing some kind of challenge or some kind of opportunity, you're willing to take that on. And you have big mistake though. So you need to really carefully consider, again, something that's going on with your body or your body image. If you are maybe you're very sexually projecting, and that would be a big mistake. Or maybe you have difficulty coming to terms with your sexuality. Maybe there's some frigidity. That could be a mistake. Again, you've been warned to be careful about your prescription drugs, or something to do with walking or your feet or hips, and something connected to maybe surgery has been an issue. The death card says that there's a transformation that is very intense, maybe crisis oriented. So maybe your body is experiencing some kind of trauma, or maybe you're dealing with very stressful situations that take a toll on you physically. This is about psychological issues, life-challenging events, maybe even life and death questions. So you're dealing with something where either you're going to have to repair it, improve it, or simply let it die. What's going on with your creativity? This is your passion, how you're nourishing yourself, how you honor yourself, how you allow divine source to flow through you. It's about your dreams. So you have the Queen of Wands and the Hanged Man. Now, perhaps a fire sign is instrumental in those dreams. This could be an Aries, a Leo, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, male or female, or just the traits of this queen are important. Something has stalled. You're getting this message that maybe something has died out, can't get going. The Hanged Man says something about your creative forces or flow is in limbo. You're waiting for something. And you're trying to steer a matter your way. Now, the Queen of Wands is somebody who's very passionate, very enthusiastic. She's comfortable with herself. She's charming. She's very well connected. She's protective of those that she cares about, her family, her friends, her causes. And again, maybe this is you taking that on, or you're trying to find that enthusiasm. You're trying to connect yourself with others. This is about getting recognition and attention. And maybe you're waiting for that as far as your work, your creativity, your passion. It could be maybe you're doing something that is creative. It may have to do with something connected to film or photography, music. but you are waiting to get some kind of recognition. Now, maybe you're waiting to get recognition from this person and that hasn't come. There's a disappointment here. You're having to change your approach. And this is also saying, in some respects, you may need to, disregard the world and the external influence and go deeper into spirituality. What is this need for recognition or validation? So you may have to examine that. It may be a time out, a pause for you to examine that. It's also time for you to see something or someone or self more clearly. So you're meant to review where maybe you've been deceived or deceiving yourself about something. This is not looking at things as they are. It's trying to see it through a rose-colored glass and, having to pay for that, because you're also examining the sacrifices that are made, perhaps in order to gain attention or, because the Queen of Wands in her shadow can be so intent on getting that validation that she actually starts to alienate those around her. So you may be changing your perspective, or it's time to, you need to take a fresh approach to something tied to your creativity. Maybe you need the time out to pursue it. Maybe you haven't been able to pursue it because you're in some kind of recovery mode, or you're dealing with some kind of unwelcome element. So for some of you, you're having to look at the sacrifice and the level of sacrifice. It could be that you need to put in more for the greater good or for what you're trying to do. Or you're realizing that you're making all of these sacrifices and it's not really paying off for you. So you're having to rethink some things. And the message is also fly solo. Again, this is about, if you've been waiting to get that validation or that connection, somebody's been ignoring you or something has died, go it alone. You may need to soar on your own, use your own thought process, your own dreams, your own skills, have faith in yourself. This says you may need to go it alone. Maybe you've been making some sacrifices that are just totally unnecessary. Now, what is your strength? This is your goddess magic. It gives you the power to manifest, not only in your life, but in the lives of others. It's the gift that you have to offer and that you can share. You have the High Priestess and Magician. So for some of you, there may be a tie to a Gemini person. If not, this is about a decision that you're making, a decision about your abilities. It could be a decision you're making about men in general or attitudes toward women. In fact, your relationships with women are likely to change in some kind of way, go under some kind of reconstruction. This may be a friend. She's likely to be single. It may be an advisor you're dealing with, a counselor, a therapist. It could be a daughter, a sister that's in focus. But your main gift to manifest is your intuition, going within, gaining some insight. And it's your ability to tune into that allows you to manifest. There's some opportunities on the horizon, but you have to make the decision to be a self-starter. Especially, again, if there's been a lack of passion or motivation, you want to walk away from things that are stagnant, not moving, uncertain, or someone does. And, maybe there was this decision, you were waiting and waiting and waiting, and you ended up alone. So this is about you taking the initiative, but also not allowing your impatience for something to move forward, to get in the way, where you lash out and undermine what you're trying to do. The High Priestess says you need to listen. This is receptive energy. What are you being told? What's that inner voice? What are you hearing from Source? That's your key to moving forward. And for some of you, maybe it's time for you to explore some past conditioning, some things that you've taken for granted, a bias that you're operating through, a prejudice of some sort, a way of thinking that is actually holding back your capability. Maybe you're too logical. You're not able to tap into your intuition, or maybe you're mistaking emotion or passion for intuition. This is also about, being intolerant of others. You feel like you know it. And maybe this is about know-it-all, feeling as if, you've got all of the answers, more expertise than you really do. So your gift, your ability to manifest, is the gift of intuition, knowing what is the real deal, seeing people for who they are, the liars, the opportunists, the players, the cons, seeing what's true, but knowing that you're not deceiving yourself with the Hanged Man card, that you're seeing not only others, but yourself as well. So this is about making some decisions, probably about opportunities and whether they're really valid. You're meant to examine that, what appears golden on the surface really holds true merit. Are there just too many strings attached? Are you looking at the fine print? So for some of you, there's the gift of either listening to your own intuition, your capability to make a judgment, or knowing when you need to get some advice from those who know better, somebody who has special knowledge, skills, or expertise. And this says open mind, heart, mouth. Now, open your mind to other possibilities, other views. Open your heart to something where there's been a lack of passion or motivation. And open your mouth if you need to speak up. This is your ability to make a decision, to take the initiative, to be a self-starter, to take advantage. Now, what are your lessons with regard to self or others concerning love? And that can be any kind of love. I can stand tall. I can still stand tall alone. So this is the reiteration of flying solo. You have to let go of things that you've been disappointed with, things that were a big mistake. It's your move, and you've got to reignite yourself. If you or someone else is not interested, or there's a lack of passion, that doesn't mean you're any less. You're capable. You have the ability, and you have to make a decision about what you're capable of. You have to regain your confidence, your mojo, that you are worthy, whether something has worked out or not, and that you can stand tall alone. It could be that someone else is sending you that message, though. Now, what is the goddess archetype that you are meant to embody during this period? You have Nike, ambition, which is interesting because it's your move regarding a lack of ambition, a lack of where perhaps you've been a self-starter or taken the initiative, where you let the passion wane, or where you started things that really didn't have any kind of possibility for success. So this is what you're meant to embody. So you're looking perhaps at where your ambitions have been lacking or misplaced. So let's see what the goddess Nike has to offer. The Greek goddess Nike asks you to be present to the beauty and richness discovered in your life so far. You have come this distance, so what are your wins? Celebrating them is key right now to enable you to co-create even more. You live in a world where you may have felt that you were not allowed to celebrate your victories, lest you be cut down for being self-centered. Perhaps you were raised in a family that discouraged you from shining in an authentic way. Being successful at the game of life requires you to refuse the message that you are too much or not enough. Your biggest win is to be yourself. Accept yourself exactly as you are, releasing the idea that you are flawed in any way and expressing yourself with authenticity. This is the true power of the victory goddess Nike expressed through you. The goddess Nike has another message to share. If you've been struggling to move to the next level of your life, working hard and putting the time and effort in, you will soon find you are finally winning. Your determination and commitment to your intentions are manifesting in your life with beautiful results. When you are winning, the world wins too. Just remember to share your bounty. Now, this is interesting, where you're doing this review of where you have felt powerless or there's been a lack of motivation. Now, I want you to make sure that you've underscored the fact that it says, if you've been putting in the time and effort, you will soon find yourself winning. If you've just been stagnating and hanging around waiting for results, that's not going to hold true for you. So, again, you're going to have to make a decision about your ability, your confidence, your skills, your knowledge, and how to share that with others. Now, what is the final message from the universe? Hope is the conduit for miracles. So if you've been lacking enthusiasm or feeling a lack of confidence or disappointed, this is telling you you're not impotent in any way, that your hope is the spark that sets a miracle in motion. Now, what is the underlying energy? You have the Three of Wands, and that's on you. So there's some discussions taking place. You could be in negotiations. You could be looking to expand your sphere of influence. Maybe you're involved in commerce of some sort. Maybe you're dealing with foreign affairs, foreigners, something at a distance. You've put some ideas, some concepts, or a statement out there, and you've tried to set something in motion, or you'd like to, and you're waiting for those ships to come in. You want what you've put out to reverberate back on you. But this is a clear message that's on you. Whatever you're trying to do, you've got fly solo, your move, you can stand tall alone, that's on you. So somewhere along the way, the buck is stopping with you. And, you're deciding whether you want to make opportunity, whether you want to avail yourself of it, how much do you want to survive? What is it that you want? How much can you make some positive change? What are your ambitions? That's all on you. Or maybe you're sending that message to someone else. But it's time to make some important decisions. And you're key to those. So there's something going on here where there's been some rash or impetuous behavior. This is about setting the foundation for something. Whatever that is, whether it's a project, a relationship, it may have been concerning property or moving in together, getting married, or some kind of social event. But whatever it is, you're doing this review of the lack of motivation where you haven't gotten attention. You're having discussions. You're not bringing the attention in the way you want, or somebody else feels that way. And maybe you feel like whatever you do, you're not able to please, the expectation, or somebody is not fulfilling your expectations. But again, you need to go back and look at whether those are realistic. If there's some kind of bias or a distorted view of something. Because whatever's going on in your situation right now, and this is for March, April, and May, very little thought has gone into the decision-making process. And either you or someone around you is acting irrational or illogical. And even though there are discussions or negotiations or some kind of transaction taking place, communication is a problem area. Whatever this is, it's coming back around. This is something that is coming back again for a second time for you to give it some further thought. A review of your decisions, whether you want to get involved in something or not. A review of your thinking, your intuition, what your intuition is telling you. You have three major cards here: Death, High Priestess, and Magician. So there are lessons in learning how to regenerate, learning how to reinvent yourself if you're not pleased with where you are, instead of stagnating. It's also about gaining some insight, whether through tapping into your own intuition or knowledge or getting advice from someone who has some expertise. It's also about being intolerant or meeting with the challenge of prejudice or bias and taking the initiative to avail yourself of opportunity. Opportunities begin with you, and you can't allow your impatience to undercut the possibilities.